Hey guys, how you doing? Chris Rod, Sun City Lawn Care. Today's video, we're in the garden today. As you guys can tell behind me, we are in the food forest, and we are installing irrigation. Okay, this is a how to install irrigation on your raised beds type of video, if you will. This is not lawn care, so I'll give you a second to go ahead and tune off if you are interested in lawn care, and don't give two craps about gardening. Just kidding, y'all stay tuned, because this irrigation stuff really does apply to lawn care as well. If you guys are having irrigation issues, or you're looking to do your own irrigation installation. What I will add to that is that I'm not no licensed irrigation installer. I'm not a plumber. I don't carry that particular license. I don't want to, I don't need to. Don't call me to install irrigation for you. But what I want to show you guys today is how I'm installing a drip system inside of, or for, my raised beds. They're not technically inside, they're inside the ground. That digging's got me out of breath. But all we're doing here is installing some raised or some irrigation drip system for our raised beds. As you guys can see right there, I've already got 1, 2, 3 beds taken care of, and I have saved 1, 2, 3 more beds for the instructional purpose of this video. So if you look behind me, what you can see is the trenching. I've got some pipe. I ran irrigation underneath my driveway. So there is a process to installing an irrigation for your raised garden beds. And the first step is allocating your water source. Okay, which spigot are you going to use? Are you going to use, or are you going to tap into the spigot coming out of the house or the side of the house? They make adapters and kits, and the kit that I used and modified actually came from, this is a new company that I'm trying out. I've never used them before for irrigation purposes. Drip Depot. Okay, so dripdepot.com is where I got my kit for my raised garden bed irrigation system. It's pretty cool, actually. They got a wide array of different kinds of kits that you can go ahead and buy. So today though, I went ahead and we had ordered it because I had every intention on installing an irrigation system for my raised garden beds, so I can go ahead and set the timer, kind of set it and forget it. Because what we have been doing over the course of my gardening endeavors over the past few years has been watering by hand. And as you gardeners know, that's something you never want to do. Just like, no, not like grass, but in gardening, you really want that water to get down to the soil system and not leave it on the leaf tissue of whatever crop you guys are growing, okay? So we've been watering by hand, so I want to get away from that this season. I had every intentions on it of installing one eventually, but I never got around to it last year. I was so behind on building the raised beds and whatnot. So back to the how-to. First things first is you got to find your water source, whether you're going to be tapping onto a previously existing spigot coming out of the house, or like I've done, because I've already got an irrigation system for my front yard, for my rose bush here, my trees. There used to be an apricot tree in the center of this rock bed here, but that died and I chopped it down. And so previously existing irrigation system is what I'm tapping into. And as you guys can see right there, there is there was a spout there, a 1/2-inch riser, and some PVC. So what I did is I went ahead and tapped into that, and then I channeled underneath all the way over there under my driveway. So far, digging under or I should say, it's kind of like pressure washing, honestly. Underneath this driveway, that was so far the most difficult part. For some reason, you know, you may have some rebar poking down in through there. If they laid the concrete right, which they never do in El Paso for driveways, the underlying foundation is usually an aggregate or crushed stone, and then there is some rebar. In El Paso, for some reason, they never put rebar underneath the driveways. So I didn't have that problem, but I kept hitting something midway through. So you keep working it, and finally I was able to feed a 3/4 inch PVC pipe all the way through that allowed me to go ahead and channel my 1/2 inch of irrigation main line all the way underneath. So after you connect your water source, and so let me get back to the main water source. Normally what you're going to do, because I'm running off of 40 psi, and how do I know? Because I use one of these little gauges that I screwed into the existing PVC. When you turn on your timing system, my timing system, I'm running 40 psi. Now your typical raised bed irrigation drip system, or drip system period, you're going to want anywhere from 20 to 30 psi. Now when you start getting more than that, okay, you run the risk of blowing out the drip system itself. Okay, you could just blow off an end. I'm going to be using drip tape inside of my raised garden beds, so they're rated for psi, for particular psi's, but you could blow out your drip tape. You know, that could happen. That's a possibility. So either way, I tested it already. I'm running 40 psi. I want to reduce it to about 25 to 30 psi, and that's where these little adapters come in here, right here. Now, of course, this won't be here when I plug everything in, but as you can see, it's got the 1.5 to 7 gallons per minute notification there, and this is a 25 psi pressure regulator. Okay, and then this long black piece here, this is actually a filter, and then you got a blow off or backflow preventer at the bottom of this. So normally all of this whole entire connection, how you doing? This whole good. This whole entire connection is normally something you would want to plug into the spigot from the house if you're connecting right out of the house. Okay, now in my case, because I've already got a previously existing irrigation system, I've got a valve here, and then I've got a back siphon there, which is my backflow preventer, if you will. So I really don't need a couple of these components here. I don't need this one, and I don't need a filter, because that's what that backflow preventer does for me in the first place. So that's it for now. Really all I'm doing is finalizing the trenching. As you can see, normally trenching could be also one of the first steps after you decide where your water is going to come from. You want to trench wherever you're going to channel your main line. So we trench along here. I'm going to run main line, tee it off right here. We're going to go all the way up the raised garden bed so we can connect behind my raised garden beds, and then we're going to run the drip tape across each one going that way. And then, as you already saw, through this side over here, we ran it along the driveway, and we're going to have drip tape coming off this way. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this line buried and covered, and then the rest of the video I'm going to be demonstrating how to go ahead and tap into the main water line to extend up the raised garden beds and run your drip tape. All right guys, so what we're going to be doing is simply tapping into this main water line here. You need a couple components, okay? What really helps out, and where we're going to start off, is we're going to tee off of this main line. We're going to drive up a piece of the main line here. We're going to go ahead and elbow it, and then we're going to run some more of the main line on top of the raised bed here, where we simply put an end cap there. But what we're also going to do is take it one more step. In case I ever decide I want to not water this bed, say for example like right now in the winter time when we're not growing anything, we're going to go ahead and install a close off valve, which is really cool, because all you got to do is turn the spigot there, and you will have a perpendicular spigot, so it shuts off the water to this particular bed. So it's really easy. Okay, and we're going to drive this up as close to the bed as we can get, and we're going to go ahead and tee off right here. All right, guys, so that's it. That's pretty much how you run your main line. You come up the side of your raised bed there. We went ahead and did a, this is some bad camera angles. Excuse me. I am no professional cameraman. So there we go. That's a better picture right there. Main line, you come up the side of the garden bed. You have a T-valve there that connects to the main line. You have a shut-off valve, an elbow, and then you run it across. Now that little secure nail that I put there on each side, I'm gonna put one more in the middle there. As you can see, it's hanging over. We wanna make sure that that is straight as possible. I'm gonna do the same thing for each one of these beds, and I'll show you the end result towards the end.